keeps on. All right.
Yeah, there is something what's going on when it comes to now the internet. Probably now it's been updated by our government, who knows, by providers. So
Tries to set up some
yes,
kind of sovereign internet, so free of every external influence, and better say. And so yeah,
exactly.
this stuff happened in Iran just about 2 months ago. So they switched off the internet all through the country. Now, can you believe it's about 100 million people living there? What's the population, by the way, of
No, the
Iran?
population of Iran,
knowledge.
I believe, about 80,000 people living now there. It's pretty big country.
Possibly million, yeah?
Million, sorry, million. Sure.
80,000, it's a little bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, 80,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
so it's so hard to invade this country anyways, about up to 100 million. So many, you could just imagine how many allies and people from outer Muslim countries could be flooding, to support the Muslim brothers. And for them, every like Muslim person is like brother and sister. So for them, it's like matter of belief as well, and
Yeah, right.
support and so on. It's not about Christian, in like Christian world. So every single person has to defend himself. But in Muslim world, everybody stands like one, and
Yeah,
that's
in the
what I really
Muslim
like
world,
about it.
yeah, they stand up for one another, whatever
Yep.
happens. Yeah, right. And what we have seen recently, unfortunately, we see American strikes. He the top general, and as a result of that, he was killed, and that sparks big, probably big things. We can call it as a war, so nobody knows. And just probably you have heard about the latest news, like which I break the news. The Iraqi parliament has voted for ending the Americans' presence in Iraq. And so after that, Donald Trump stated that Americans are not going to leave Iraq. Yes, and so pretty it struck me down to some extent. And if Iraq keep up pushing Americans and making them leave, probably, according to the Donald Trump, of course, like quote unquote, America is going to impose a lot of sanctions, which might be way more powerful if we can compare it with Iran.
The previous ones, yeah.
Previous, it's mind-boggling what happens really. And just I've gone through a lot of news, watching BBC, CNN, NBC, and etc. And what makes me feel a little bit strange, there are a lot of hate, like that man Qasem Soleimani. He was like the first terrorist, and but he doesn't look like the terrorist.
Yeah, he looks to be kind of knowledgeable and honorable man, I would say, and someone took him for terrorists and heading some terrorist organization working outside of this country. And and what's the most important, possibly, the Iranian government claimed to be going out of these nuclear deals, not developing nuclear weapons and so on. So the US can now have the full right, to accuse them of developing some this technology to create some nuclear bombs and missiles, whatever. So they could have some full rights to have some operations, to invade the country and so on. That's only the start of some next world war coming. So I fear it won't come, but anyways, it looks like that. It's most likely.
It's most likely to happen. It is. And our world is getting nuts and crazy when it comes to other countries, and why they continue to invade and conducting military operations, etc. Why not live at a peace and in prosperity?
Yeah,
So
being good
that's
Christians, yes, as Donald Trump, he considered himself to be a Christian, yeah, and so on, and believe in Jesus Christ and Christmas, stuff like that. But at the same time, so they conduct some military operations worldwide and killing people, so it doesn't make any good sense, logics, actually, about this
right.
whole.
Yeah, and the Iranian government promised to take some revenge
Yeah,
against Americans, and
and they
now,
will
like,
do. So if they have revenge in their hearts, so they will, well, carry out this, no doubt.
no
It's
doubt,
about
and the whole
culture, to have revenge over some hideous, acts committed against them, their culture and
Mhm.
religion, and people, uh, well, they have sworn, to kill some Americans and so on. It's all about seeding this hatred, in people's hearts, Christians against Muslim and so on. But it's all about some politics. People just easily, got hooked up and that stuff, and they don't really see the real cause of what's
Mhm.
going on, unfortunately.
Yeah, really, the real cause is always hidden.
Yeah, it's all about
Hidden.
mining
Like
oil and stuff
a
like
few
that.
people controls many, according
Yeah,
to
like it has
J-Day.
always been, this
Uh,
one. And
this one. But so hope the big war will never happen, but it seems like it's highly likely to happen, and it will break out sooner or later, according to
yeah,
this,
it
of
just
this guy.
dawned on me, the First World War just got started exactly from same kind of events. Some prince was killed
Killed
somewhere, or
Franz
some.
Ferdinand.
Yeah,
Franz
yeah,
Ferdinand was killed.
exactly.
Hmm.
So it was the start of the First World War. Some kind of really similar events. I don't know. The
Assassination,
technology
like.
could be the same.
Hmm.
Some key figure, like in key position, so the crucial one, so was killed, and after people got angry and mad at that, and wanted
Hmm.
revenge. Possibly what's going on, the same situation.
The same, yep. At least the whole world is heading towards that state. And but
Going in hell.
what
Yep.
pisses me off, from the Americans' point of view, or from not Americans, from Donald Trump's point of view. So it has been done to prevent
Hmm.
much bigger, probably war, and so. But I believe it's they have crossed the red line to some
Yep.
extent.
Looks
Yeah,
like
but
that, indeed.
killing the second number person in another country, it's not just murder someone
It has to bring
on the battlefield.
consequences.
Yes, and by the way, they killed not just Qasim Soleimani. So there was a next person who was pretty
Yep.
famous, head
Hmm.
of Shia militia in
Hmm.
Iraq, and many more than 25 people were killed, and more than 50 wounded as a result of attack, or, by the way, in which a military drone
Hmm.
had been used. It's it was a secret operation which has been
So possibly
conducted
this
by the.
drone, yeah, so it took off from some base in Iraq, so close to the territory, or to some, um, close to that place and location. And so I just can't imagine, so with great precision, so it was really conducted. And, the car was actually moving,
Yeah.
along the highway, I believe, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
on the road. And yeah, so you can see some planes flying or drones flying up in the sky, and they aren't, afraid of anything. Have some anti-missile system, whatever, so just free to do what they want to do. They
Yeah,
careless about it.
now people now have invented the most vicious ways to kill each other, and just using sophisticated military tools, and or spying on, and etc.
Yeah, what people could see in Mission Impossible, all this technology, this science fiction technology. So it's all about, I believe, already implemented into real life, and they just give out in some fiction stuff what they have in really in some bases and so on, secretly.
Right, and according to some information spreading out, so they did it because due to Iraq caught between two countries, like USA and Iran. So, and the murder of the top general, what the United States did from their point of view, it must have prevented something. And so he was kind of behind of the most secret operations, and he was a head of special Iranian forces and militia in Iraq. It was quite popular figure among military. Right, and but I believe it's not kind of honest way to kill someone with a drone, not being on the battlefield. It's a kind of vicious thing, and I believe it is a blatant, kind of blatant violation of sort of human rights and and
yeah, it's all about written down on the piece of paper, these constitutions and this this set of laws, but it's when it comes to money stuff, yeah, so they can be easily trespassed, any kind of law.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all about what real world looks like. Well, how about you search for that site, yeah, to create some kind of landing page or stuff like that. So just drop in there, and
so we should definitely yes, a little. We should definitely keep our eye on that, or at least keep eye or out and look for. So actually, there are three options for us, but the best way is to create a landing page that makes sense, and and it's gonna be some payment, for instance, for having a domain, like domain, and from 500 rubles per month, and etc. So actually, there is a range of different payments, and if you can see or could look through. And anyway, so
could you just please drop me here in Zoom, so because it's somewhere in my phone. If you can possibly remember its writing.
Yep.
Just copy and paste.
Just we have different options where we should go or how we should go and do things. For instance, so the first one, what we should do is to look through and learn it by ourselves, and start creating at least a concept. Okay, let me share. And otherwise, or for instance, either or find people who is ready to help us out with that. Okay.
You mean to promote that site?
Right, yes. Or who could help us out with creating and posting some content. Okay, like look at this. And this is the most maybe famous thing. Okay, have a look. So, do you see? Not?
Okay, not really.
All right, so there you go. Okay, what's going on? All right, there you go. Open, please. I've sent it. Oh, my goodness. Yep.
I see it
Okay. So,
now. It's kind of website, internet shop as well. Yeah.
right. So sort of a constructor, and this platform is used for creating sites, landing pages, and for instance, open place. Where is it? Tariffs, like prices for everyone, for
So
and
just
free.
you utilize services of these guys, yeah, who run
Right.
this platform.
Right.
So it's not about you just decided, make up your mind to create your site. It's all about some using some services of these guys who are in charge, yeah, of this.
Much easier, I believe, at least. Much
So
easier.
you can see there are like three options here, like free, personal, business. Yeah, free is like one site, personal. Let's see. It's all about 500, 600 rubles. So it has been converted to a local currency here, like 200 hryvnias, and business 5 sites and plus experts, something like this.
Well,
Full
for
set
instance,
of functions.
so scroll down a little bit. Just look 3 prices through and scroll down, and the explanation, like what's the difference between one plans between personal business, yes, and whether we can bind it or could be bound to.
So should it look like business or personal? So I wonder what's the difference in functions, in functionality.
Yes, I wonder as well.
Services like if it's possible, for example, to download some videos, from this site.
Right. Yes, and we should learn it and look through. For instance, what the difference between just look at that 5.5. What is the difference between page and site?
Site, portfolio, blog. Yeah, so possibly it needs to be checked out, through Google. So what's the difference between personal and business, and possibly some feedbacks of people,
And look at the point 6, whether its site could be found in the searches. And right. So according to many entrepreneurs, including my girlfriend, by the way, she's done his site, but not by herself. She hired some people, and they helped her out with creating one. And most probably number of sites, number of businesses is based on that platform. Yes, and it's much easier instead of, for instance, creating or designing it by ourselves on our own. Right, and sure, we should buy a domain, like plus gift, I don't know. So actually, it's worth looking through.
Yeah, definitely. So that's really awesome stuff. And yeah, of course, having this website and your own YouTube channel.
I wonder what's your kind of vision and concept. For instance, I caught myself thinking about creating not just English school, right? Something much bigger could be.
Could be. Yeah, first it could position itself, this website as some English school, or actually it's not like English school, because there are so many websites, English schools, and some private blogs and whatever. So it could be something different that
on
could
like for
stand
instance,
out.
like online club or with of open-minded people, stuff like that. So
Yeah, kind of like project
yeah, yeah,
stuff, yeah, but local one.
local one.
Yeah, so that's interesting thoughts, so how to position this website. So,
Yes,
or
right.
yeah, if you go to this leakproject.com, yeah, Rex is one. So it doesn't position itself like some school, whatever, it's just full of videos, and that's it.
That's
So it's
it.
just some
Yeah.
ads, some videos, some, I don't know, commercials and so on. Then
Mm-hmm.
some links to, so the site could basically contain some links to YouTube, some social networks as well. So it should be colorful, like eye-catching stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so and I don't know. So what
Yes,
can be like, but it's just could be just the first step. Like little by little, some ideas could be worked out, and just what they
like
start
it's
cooking.
it's like warming up, punching a bag. Like we should start to
Mm-hmm.
take the first step anyway. Yeah, and probably it's worth writing things down on paper,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in Russian, like the first step, so that, and of course, it's worth looking through a lot of similar sites and links in terms of information, content, so that we can use something, just not invent by ourselves, because there's no point in inventing a lot of stuff. So I believe it's all kind of been written, and
Mm-hmm.
just we need to use the best probably ideas, the best concepts, and integrate them put them into our club or whatever
Mm-hmm. Could be like speaking club.
speaking club. And
Uh,
of course we should think about our range of our service, like speaking club, private
mm-hmm.
lessons, and
It could be
discussions,
like
and
it could be named
business
the site of free thinking
English.
people, like thinking out of the box, something like this. And yeah, it should contain something like that stands out, basically. It
Right.
shouldn't be like the rest of others.
Yes, and of course, so after we get it completed to some extent, at least maybe by 70%, so we can promote it through Instagram. Like, so there is an option for promotion and using business account. Just we will put some money and check this, and etc. And of course, it's worth connecting it with our Zoom. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to think about that, how it is possible for us to go live, at least as you mentioned, once a day within
Yeah,
10
once a day, just
minutes.
for 10, 15 minutes, possibly could, uh, set up some range of topics, taken up on a daily basis and discuss them, and just about
This,
just one per day. And I don't know, could be
yeah,
whatever we could think about. It could be just personal channel, and you could be free to talk whatever you want to talk about. So just
right.
up to,
Yeah, it's up
it
to us.
depends on no one
No.
around.
Yeah, and the next thing, of what I'm thinking of, it's always, I believe, from best of my knowledge, it's always pointless to focus on perfection. Like, of
Mm-hmm.
course, everything it's really difficult to achieve that state, because now perfection, people perceive the term perfection from their points of view. For one, what could be perfect, for another one is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole thing.
Sure.
Yes, for instance, for someone, Rex's show is a terrible thing, but he's
Yeah.
doing quite well.
Mhm.
And regardless of the fact
Yeah,
he.
many minds, as they say, and it's about someone's, reflection in their hearts and their souls, what their heart lies close to, and yeah,
That's
so sure.
that's what I got across after having some experience,
Yeah,
like
but
some.
anyway, just it's good, this website could be in English, like 7 billion people living on the
Mm-hmm.
planet speaking English more or less. It's not just about Russian, channels and blogs.
Mm-hmm.
Give it just a try and think. Let's give it a shot. What could come out of this? No one knows, but at least it's worth giving it a try.
Give it a try, right? But anyway, so we should believe in the best thing possible. Anyway, so
Yes, and the best
that's
things to come our
about
way, of course.
energy.
It's all about
Just.
what you believe in. Yeah, and there are some books, just really truly written. The first one is Vadim Zeland, and he
Mm-hmm.
exactly gives some techniques
Now that.
how to make your dreams come true just within
Mm-hmm.
just some couple of days. So I remember I telling some I took some
Mm-hmm.
advices
Mm-hmm.
him, and I just had a dream of two new students coming the very next day, and what just guess so just
Mm-hmm.
within 5 minutes of meditation and doing some specific movements or whatever. So the next day, so two new guys came over to me. That's I was really stunned.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like your dreams are really real, and
Yeah,
what
it's
you
all about
believe
visualization. Yes,
is your
it
substantial thoughts.
mm-hmm.
They got solid
Mm-hmm.
after all, so it works well.
Yeah, so I know this book and I read it, not up to the end anyway. So, but I'm pretty aware of that masterpiece, if I can
Mhm.
call it, for someone.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
YouTube there are lots of audiobooks, and he's making speeches in there how to make your dreams and determinations come true.
So I wonder whether this book exists or has been translated into English or not. So
I
that
think
might be a
yes,
case.
it could be.
So to
But
look through again, because so for me so hard to read something in Russian. It's
mhm.
really beyond of me. But it's not doesn't mean that I don't like Russian. Of course, this is which is the beautiful, the most beautiful language, and it is so nice. But the point is,
So
when
many
it comes to
masterpieces, were written.
complicated, yes,
Yeah,
'Cause-
but
and
every language is beautiful in its own way. We just can compare and what
yeah.
language is closer to your soul, to your heart. Of course, we all can speak Russian, but it's more like challenge, to use English on an everyday basis. So
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
better than
completely
ever,
different
to use
story.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But when it comes to no explaining something, probably in the simplest way, English, for me at least, is the best way to understand the complicated things
Hmm.
like so outer space, psychology, psychiatry, and everything, and probably some things from science and history. That's kind of now um, determine me to stick to English when it comes to
Hmm.
complicated things. Yes, and
Yep.
it,
All right. So you're about to set off having your gym drills, yeah, boxing
right.
your bag.
Gonna punch,
Yeah.
gonna move.
Yeah.
So what
Doing
about
some
you, by the
boxing
way?
is well. I'm just trying to enroll to the gym, so lying close to our, so in the vicinity of ours. So it's that's the name. The name of the gym is Sparta. That's really
Mm-hmm.
great name for it. And there is
But
only
really,
one bag, unfortunately.
it's name Sparta.
Yeah, Sparta. So the same name, and so the gym itself is great. So many,
Mm-hmm.
many tools and stuff like that. To get yourself exercise. But there is only one boxing bag, and it's really light. Not heavy. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good idea to box some heavy. box and bag, not to make it fly all around you.
So we have so many pretty similar things. So gyms, Sparta, and girls who are singing. And
this is all about
English.
All right. Yeah, so we could discuss all things, having our website, and it could, if it's yours, you can discuss whatever you want, and it's just up to people to like it or not. So just anyway, it could be just getting started like a hobby, whatever. It's just at least you could put out your thoughts into that stuff, and possibly some people will find the reflection in their hearts, of your thoughts and our discussion. So whatever, let's see.
So what's going to come out. Right. Okay. So thank you for taking me through and making me through.
Mine. So
a lot of
great stuff as always. It is. And so let's see. Tomorrow we have this Christmas holiday. The 7th. But anyway, it's kind of a regular working day for everybody. Regardless, it is like a Tuesday. Yes, but no banks open today, by the way. So in Ukraine, so the 6th and the 7th, the 8th. 3 days in a row, no governmental establishments and private sector things work, and people have heavy celebrations, visiting families, and friends get together and so on. But it's good to have some free time to put your thoughts all together, and
right. So at least let's try to look through this site and discuss it. At any time soon.
Check it out. So, in Google, possibly some feedbacks of people writing about this website and what's the difference, what version is better to take, like personal business, what's the difference, so personal business within this site, and so some specific ideas need to be worked out.
Yep, exactly.
And, all right, good. So perfect talk as always. As it has always been, I would better say. And so let's get together tomorrow at about the same time. It could be like afternoon time, even earlier, like 12 or 11 or 1.
Let's do it. So it might be awesome.
So let's change lines at about 11. Right, so get things settled in that way.
So we'll keep you.
All right. Keep me posted, and I'll keep you posted as well. All right. So enjoy gym procedures and drills. That'll be great.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
All right.
Thank you so
bye
much.
Take care.